Hi friends, welcome back to channel Sai Tech Guru. In this video, I'm going to compare the Poco X3 Pro versus the Mi11X device. Which phone is the best option to buy right now during the Flipkart Big Billion Day sale and the Amazon Great Indian Sale? The main reason why I'm doing this kind of video is because you can get the Poco X3 Pro as low as 15,000 rupees after using the bank discounts and everything. Same thing for the Mi11X device, which can actually come down up to 21,000 rupees after using the bank discount cards. So 21,000 rupees and 15,000 rupees, 6,000 rupees difference is there. The gap has been completely decreased between these two phones. Now few of the users are actually thinking of buying one of the phone, but they're really confused because of this aggressive pricing of the Mi11X device. But this video will give the clear idea what is going on between these both phones. And in case if you're watching for the first time, make sure to hit the subscribe and don't forget to check the playlist. If you're planning to buy the phones from the Amazon, make sure to use my links in the Amazon links, and that will be really helpful for me as well in case if you're planning to buy phones or any kind of products. So this video I'll try to discuss about each and every aspect like performance, display, camera, battery charging, connectivity, build quality and software updates and UI. Is it worth of spending extra money on the Mi11X device, or should you go for the Poco X3 Pro? That is what. So in case for the short, in case if you don't have the budget, if you don't want to stretch that much 21,000, so better choose the Poco X3 Pro device. But if you are that kind of person who is ready to extend the budget, but if you want really solid phone, then definitely this video is for you. So first thing is that even in the performance wise, the Poco X3 Pro has got the Snapdragon 860 chipset and the Mi11X has got the Snapdragon 870 chipset. So in terms of the benchmark wise, we'll be seeing the difference of close to 1 lakh difference will there be between these both phones. That's one thing you should definitely understand regarding the benchmarks. And overall regarding the performance as well, the Snapdragon 870 is quite good when compared with the Snapdragon 860 chipset. In performance wise, in terms of the games, optimization is slightly kind of better in the Snapdragon 870 when compared with the Snapdragon 860. So as a future-proof option, is this good for the next 3-4 years or not? Yes, this is a good option for the next 3-4 years. If you're planning to buy the phone for 3 to 4 years, then definitely go for the Mi11X device because you're getting solid performance out of this phone. And next thing, in terms of the MIUI, that's one thing. MIUI is not, I mean that it's really optimized, but it's not optimized for the more performance because they need to take care about the heating issues and all those things. So performance will be slightly compromised. But if you use the different custom ROMs, then you can definitely have the really solid performance in both phones. So recently I'm thinking of installing the custom ROM in this Mi11X device regarding the OnePlus custom ROM. So if you use the OnePlus custom ROM in the Mi11X device, that will be the perfect package in the Mi11X smartphone. If you can do that, only then try to prefer the Mi11X device. But overall in the performance segment, straight away points for the Mi11X device. Next is regarding the display. So Poco X3 Pro has got the IPS LCD panel, Mi11X has got the Super AMOLED panel. So in terms of the AMOLED panel, definitely friends, I do prefer the Super AMOLED panels. So E4 type of AMOLED panel, you're getting slightly better brightness, more brightness and outdoor visibility will be there. And 120 Hz refresh rate and 360 Hz touch sampling rate. 240 Hz touch sampling rate and 360 Hz touch sampling rate. That's another something you need to know about. And not only that, apart from that, even the display, I mean punch hole size is really very small. In the Mi11X, as you can see, very small. So when compared with the big punch hole, which looks really good in the Mi11X device overall. So that's one thing which I did like in the Mi11X smartphone regarding the display. So there are a couple of issues like black color crush issue and a green tint problem which is going on in the Mi11X device. Still those problems are not yet got fixed. Even some of the users in the Poco X3 Pro, they did mention that ghost touch issues are going on in the Poco X3 Pro as well. But both phones, they do have their advantages and disadvantages. But if you keep the both phones side by side, the display panel, wow, it's really good. You can actually feel a lot of difference if you try to watch personally. Definitely I can say that the AMOLED panel in this Mi11X device looks really very good when compared with the Poco X3 Pro device. So in the performance segments, it's really worth of spending the more money. Even in the display also, it's really worth to spend more money on the Mi11X device. So if you ignore those problems, that's what I'm trying to mention. So those problems, I'm not sure whether it will be fixed with the software updates or not. I cannot guarantee that. So next regarding the camera, same thing. So camera is not a much huge change you would see between these both phones. Both phones are completely kind of similar in terms of the camera performance, nothing much major difference. But one more thing. So I did like the front cam in the Mi11X device, yes, because of the wide angle and extra cover of field it can actually cover in the Mi11X device. But in the Poco X3 Pro, you do get the very zoomed up shots. So this is not that good for the front camera selfie shots, but I did like the Mi11X front cam, which you can actually get really good. From this very tiny punch hole, it can actually capture really very good amount of data. That's the one best part. This phone has got the really good wide angle when compared with other phones. That's the one thing which I can definitely say that in terms of the front camera. It's only one change I did see. Both are not that great in the low light performance. So in the camera segment, slightly kind of equal points between the both phones. So slightly, sometimes the MI9X is slightly kind of better, sometimes the Poco X3 Pro, but front cam is really good in the MI9X device. So next, even the battery and the charging. So battery backup in the Poco X3 Pro will be slightly better because of having 5000 mAh of battery capacity, and charging also I think slightly takes more time. In the charging speed, the MI9X takes about close to 55 minutes. Poco X3 Pro takes about close to 1 hour 10 minutes of time, or 1 hour 5 minutes, or 1 hour 10 minutes. So only the battery and the charging slight points I'm giving for the Poco X3 Pro because of having really good battery backup when compared to MI9X device. Connectivity wise, MI9X is really good connectivity. There are a couple of reasons why MI9X is good. I'll try to explain. One is 5G. We do have, I think, only 2 5G bands in this phone. At least you got some 5G, right? So next is regarding the 4G plus connections are really good in the MI9X device when compared with the Poco X3 Pro. That's second point. Next is the Wi-Fi as well. There's really strong connections in the Wi-Fi signal in this MI9X device, and Wi-Fi 6 supported in this phone as a future proof. So you are getting really improved in the connectivity in the MI9X device. Apart from that, the 2.4 GHz transmission link speed can go up to 300 Mbps of MI9X device. So whereas the Poco X3 Pro, it has a limit of only 144 Mbps, it cannot increase more than that, the transmission link speed. So if you're connecting to the 2.4 GHz, slightly slow internet speeds, you will detect if the internet speed is more than 150 Mbps. But in MI9X device, it can go up to I think 300 Mbps as well. As you can see, right now it's showing 240 Mbps, but sometimes it goes up to 300 Mbps of transmission link speed. Slightly better in the Wi-Fi segment. So Wi-Fi is good, 5G is good, 4G place is also good. So connectivity wise, strong points, it's worth to spend on the MI9X device. One more thing, 5G only 2 bands, but that's the thing you should definitely understand. And build quality, haptic feedback and everything. So build quality wise, which phone I will prefer? MI9X device. There are a couple of things because of less weight we are having in this phone. That's also one main factor. But the Poco X3 Pro has got the 3.5mm jack. 3.5 slightly kind of better options in the 3.5mm jack, and MI9X has got a very slim profile. That's what I did like, friends, carrying this kind of slim body in this phone. You don't feel that much kind of heaviness, I mean, in terms of using for long-term usability. And haptic feedback, slightly you do feel kind of premium in this phone. Haptic feedbacks are really good. Loudspeaker, both phones are slightly kind of close to each other, nothing much huge difference in the loudspeakers. Both are having the side-mounted fingerprint scanner itself. And the UI and software updates, I think two Android updates will be possible between these both phones. And in case if you don't get any kind of Android updates as well, you can actually, as I said, the custom ROMs and the bootloader unlocking, this is one of the most advanced option which you are having in the Poco and MI phones. Very, very best advantage. So recently only I came across to this kind of things like custom ROMs and everything. Very soon I'll definitely try in my device and I'll try to update you. If you can do that, try to choose one of the device. You'll be really happy. But overall, in the process of this kind of comparisons, final conclusion is that the MI9X makes a lot of sense to invest slightly more money and buy the MI9X device. And you do get the performance really good. Display is also really good in this segment. Camera kind of both same. Battery charging, nothing much. Connectivity. These 3 points are very, very strong points for the MI9X device. Better performance, better display, better connectivity. This is what we need. So that's it, friends. Thank you for watching this video. And in case if you don't have the budget to spend, no problem. You can choose the Poco X3 Pro. If you have the budget to spend, don't compromise for these things. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video. And don't forget to check the playlist of each and every smartphone to get to know more details. And meanwhile, signing off, friends. Bye.